Hi there, and welcome to the fresh new episode of Dynamic CIO Talk Show. My name is Rahul Neelmani. I'm the founding director for Greyhead Media and vice president, community engagement and editorial with Information Security Media Group, that's ISMG. And today I'll be talking to Avinash Joshi, CEO of NTT Limited India. That's an over 11 billion US dollar global technology services conglomerate. Avinash has joined NTT after being with IBM for more than 18 years. However, he had already spent 3 decades in the industry, so there's no harm in calling him the industry veteran. Welcome to the talk show, Avinash. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, Rahul. And thank you for the warm welcome and introduction. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to have you on the talk show, Avinash. So to begin with, tell us about your journey so far as the CEO of NTT India. What has been your reading of the market dynamics, highs and lows, all inclusive?
Oh, wonderful. I mean, first of all, if I were to pick up one word for my journey so far since January 12th, I would say incredible. This has been fantastic journey so far. I think entities, story globally. I mean, we have a lot more to offer to our clients and tell our story in the market. I think as a company, we are a little bit understated, in my opinion. So given where we are today as an entity limited, which is right from data center all the way to the edge, and then what is going to happen effective 1st of October, which is entity and entity data coming together, I think we really are becoming one of the most end-to-end comprehensive IT connectivity application services portfolio. And I really can't think of anybody else who can match the capabilities what we are able to offer to our clients. So I think it's very exciting journey so far. To me personally, NTT has been a great outfit. I got settled much sooner than what I thought I would, given my 30 plus years of industry experience. A fabulous culture, environment, tone. People are very respectful. A lot of focus on human part of the business, and I really like and appreciate that, because I think at the end of the day, we all are in the people business. Whether we see it directly or not. So that has been. And the other aspect is, I mean, I met in my first 6 weeks, I met about 28 clients personally. I mean, either virtually or in person, face to face, and about 300 odd NTT employees. Where I could have a two-way communication.
So, Avinash, we have been seeing a lot of disruption, not just the cliched one which was caused by the pandemic, but I'm talking about something more imminent, which is the geopolitical crisis, and due to that, its impact on global supply chains. And many more disruptions that are being caused. CEOs are quite caught up and quite worried because of that. As a CEO of a large, multifaceted technology conglomerate, how do you assess the situation? What are some of those challenges that you would be addressing, given the fact that many organizations are grappling with these problems?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, and I think a fair comment, because as a CEO, one needs to be aware of both microeconomic and macroeconomic, geopolitical and everything else happening around the world. The good news is, I mean, from India perspective, right? I think we really are fortunate to be in a market which is having tremendous potential growth. A growing market, and entities positioning in India is very well balanced. I mean, NTT is very committed to India business as well, right? Now, I mean, obviously, pandemic, like you said, in cliche, and of course, yes, then the geopolitical situation, the supply chain issue, the chips shortages, we all had to adopt to the new realities, right? And I guess, I mean, me personally, I think we just need to be ready to all these eventualities in the business, because some of it is under our control and some of it is not under our control. So in fact, some of it is we can't even predict. All right. To me, I think what's more important is that, do we have an organizational culture and a structure to quickly adapt to these changes. And if I were to give an example, I think, when I joined this company, we were right in the middle of doing the budgeting exercise, and we were hoping that, well, the supply chain situation will improve, as the year goes by. While there has been some improvement, but lot still remains to be done, right? And midway, we had to change the way our product mix and business mix is, because now you got to dawn to the new reality and then say, how are we going to still serve our clients, because they still require gear. So what can you do to work in the ecosystem to manage clients' business as well? I mean, sometimes we ended up offering equipment on rent. Sometimes we could, do some alternate ways of looking at it. We also had to change internally the way we look at our business, because at the end of the day, we also owe our shareholders the financial parameters, right? What we got to, give. And so, how do you then change the mix? So, can we go more as a service business? Can we go more software centric? And I think that's an adoption also we could make, and that's work in progress, because this continues. But to me, I think more important is, like I said, do we have a culture and a structure for an organization so that we can very quickly adapt? I mean, can we be agile? Can we be nimble? And I must say that I think we have done a decent job. I mean, given that we are just coming out of one big pandemic thing, but I feel very proud that our team has done a decent job. Client has been very responsive. The ecosystem partners have been very cooperative, and I think they see our intention of what we are trying to accomplish, and they respond. So I think it has been a good learning as well for many of us in terms of how do you adapt to these changes. But what really it does to us is remind ourselves that we got to be constantly sensing and then responding to the market realities. I think there is no way we are going to say, oh, this looks secure, it's done, let's move on. No, it doesn't happen. That also makes it exciting. So every day is a new good challenge.
No, exactly. Very well explained, Avinash. In the beginning, you made a very subtly made a statement that NTT has been a little under the radar when it comes to talking about the comprehensive suite of solutions and services that it offers. So over the past few years, what we have seen is that the company has evolved from silos of excellence to an integrated mesh of very compelling solutions and services, whether they are in the managed security service space or in the cloud space, networking space, architecture space. So what's the core vision and roadmap of the organization? How can user organizations benefit from this transformation that NTT has brought from within?
That's right. Yeah. And again, I think it's a good observation here, Rahul. The central theme what we run through is around connectedness. So the connected industries, connected communities, connected societies, connected efforts in terms of employees, all right, and that's really the central theme. And even at the cost of sounding repetitive, but pandemic taught everybody the importance of remaining connected, right? I mean, today, earlier we had 10 offices before pandemic, and suddenly during that period, the number of offices went up from 10 to 4,000, because 4,000 employees were working from offices. And how do you give them a secure connectivity so that they can still use all the enterprise applications, serve the clients? And it's not only to us, it's to everybody else, right? So I think the whole idea is, what can we do to leverage our strength of connecting things, and if you see the some of the recent announcements, I mean, we have gone in terms of what can we do in the space of private 5G, or a couple of days ago we announced something on edge as a service. So the whole thing is about, we are in a best position to connect all these dots, right from the data center where we are number one, all the way to the infrastructure services, the hardware gear, software gear, right up to the edge, and then also security around it. So everything becomes secure, right? In that sense. And so the vision is that what can we do to help our clients in their journey for the digital transformation. And I know that sometimes people use digital transformation in a broader sense, and it means many things to many people. But essentially, I think, what can we do to help our clients to serve their clients better? And on an infrastructure connectivity data center side, we are the backbone potentially. We are the digital fiber for them potentially, through which they can, I'm saying fiber as in a connectivity, right? I'm not saying fiber is only fiber, right? To get the point. And now with NTT data coming in, not only we can help them connect, we can also help them create what they want to do for their end client. So I think, I mean, our vision is, how do you leverage both the connect and the create, phenomena for our clients, right? Now, if I come down from there to India specific, I mean, there are three goals we are really driving very hard, since I took over, and now team is responding really very well. One is, what can we do so that we become number one employer of choice for people to join us and stay with us. And I think that's important. So in a sense, what can we do to make sure that our employees are always happy? The other aspect is, what can we do so that the experience our clients get is an industry benchmark experience? I mean, I really want our clients to get the best experience possible, so that we really become a benchmark experience for our clients, so that they compare everybody else to what experience we give it to them. So the happy customers and happy employees is very interconnected thing, because you really can't have one without the other, and it's a closed loop, right? And the third thing which we really have a goal is, what can we do so that we get known in the industry as the best skills? So there is a huge effort, we started in terms of skilling, certification, the new cutting edge technologies, soft skills, project management skills, and I mean, it's not only at the front end. I mean, even at the support roles. I mean, whether it's finance or logistics or operations, because in the services business, this is really an integrated effort which ultimately client experiences. And sometimes the client do not really meet everybody, but what they experience is the sum total of all these things. So what can we do to make sure that we get known in the industry for the best skills? So tomorrow, if Rahul, you want to know something and somebody comes and asks you, I want you to ask them, have you checked this with NTT? They may have skills.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of perception we do want to create. So these three goals, and I mean, whether you want to call it a vision or a mission or a goal, I just call them as a goal, is, happy employees, happy clients, and the best skills in the industry. That's it.
I mean, I caught a phrase from the time when you started giving answer to this particular question, that you want your clients, enable your clients from connect to create, and that is very substantial and a very profound comment. And with all the NTT subsidiaries coming together, I think that vision is quite possible, and the kind of skills that the organization already has and has the capability to develop. There's no doubt about the vision that you're talking about coming true in near time. So Avinash, I will go a little specific on certain technology questions now. When we talk of the cloud, the sprawl has been wide, deep, and very complex. Right from the SaaS to hybrid to multi-cloud to cloud-based security, the enterprise adoption is growing at a very steady rate. Now, if I talk of how NTT is geared up for offering cloud from pure play infra to application to data and security, what would be your response to that?
I mean, first of all, we all need to recognize that everybody's in the cloud journey, and small, medium, large enterprises, they all have started testing the cloud, and probably still a significant amount of workload still remains on-prem and has a potential to move to cloud. And we also got to recognize the fact that sometimes, based on the business models and the priorities, some of the load may actually come back, get repatriated back to on-prem, but in a hybrid cloud mode, right? So I think the reality is going to be that clients are going to have a hybrid cloud environment, which means they're going to have some workloads on-prem, some workloads off-prem, in a hyperscaler public cloud environment, and some workload which is going to probably move depending on the circumstances, right? Now, from NTT standpoint, we really want to support our clients in their journey of this, going to the cloud. And I mean, let me give you an example of UTI AMC, Indian, company, and they were looking at their infrastructure. What can they do given the financial services segment where they are in? And there are two specific, issues we have helped them to resolve it. One is they wanted to move some of the workloads to the cloud, and we were their partners to move that workload to the cloud, public cloud, hyperscaler cloud, and manage that for them. And then that was a production. And they also wanted the DR, which is what now they're using our own cloud, what we call Simply Cloud. So their DR runs on our Simply Cloud offerings. Their production runs on a hyperscaler public cloud offerings, and we are their partner in these both journeys. So we come with an approach saying that we want to help you transform. We want to help you, complete your journey to the cloud. And this is a very classical case that part of that cloud is from us and part of that cloud is from somebody else's, but we are actually their system integration partner for all these. I mean, just as the next phase, now because of the regulation, they have to, move some of the business or separate some of the businesses and now we are even helping them with that, saying that, okay, so, we moved you to the cloud, we moved your DR to the cloud, and now can we architecture wise separate your business so that you can do multiple different clouds, right? I mean, so that's really what, I mean, kind of a good example of what we are doing for our clients. Now, our view is that we can offer a cloud advisory, cloud consulting. We can help them migrate. We can manage the cloud. We can build the cloud for them, on their premises or in an environment. And of course, we have partnerships with all the hyperscalers, and we are building the skills part. What I was talking about earlier, a huge amount of effort in terms of enhancing those skills and creating those certifications and the competency, right, for us to do. I also feel that given our telecom lineage and heritage, we also have an ability to connect these clouds in terms of based on our own, DCI, what we call data center interconnect offerings, and that's a uniqueness we do. So not only the IT part of the cloud, but even the connectivity part of the cloud is something which we are very well positioned, to do, and we see a lot more positive responses on this, very specifically about this whole journey to cloud. We also have developed our own platform for multi-cloud management. So how can you monitor multiple cloud environments? Because clients also demand that, so that they have one plane of glass, for them to look at, right? And that's really how we are right now looking at. I mean, I can give a few more examples, both globally as well as India, but just in the interest of time, I'm just trying to keep it to one.
No, great to hear that example of UTI Asset Management Company. Now, another aspect and where NTT appears to be very, very strong and dominant is the cybersecurity part, which again is becoming both complex and expensive for the organizations to manage and maintain. So on one hand, the cost of technology acquisition is prohibitive. On the other hand, the skills, as you have been mentioning time and again, are difficult to come by. How does NTT plan to address this issue? What are some of the new partnerships that you are forging to give a more unified approach to your customers?
Oh, that's right. When first of all, the security discussion, the info security discussion now has become a business discussion and not only the technology discussion. It has something to do with reputation of companies, and it is really a boardroom agenda and CEO's agenda, right? For our own company, my every quarterly meeting, it actually starts with the security posture of what we are doing, right? And that's how it is. Now, it's funny, but that's where I will once again go back and then say how understated we are in terms of what we do in security space. We manage some of the very important domains, in India in terms of the security. And we have, probably 100 plus security professionals who just day in and day out just look at, the security aspect. we manage more than 25,000 endpoints, in terms of our capability. Globally, we have about 7 different centers, for managing security. NTT especially has reorganized, so the security now also gets focus in terms of research and development, and that is because, back to your question, what you said, that it is ever evolving. I mean, there are good guys and then there are bad guys. Both are technically strong, and they are trying to have this war, right? The partnership is key because the market is too vast, too fragmented, and we cannot really do everything for everybody every time. So we just have to recognize this fact that so we have the partnerships with the technology providers. We do our own as a service model, so we get those technologies with us and we manage them. We also will require, I think, the partnerships with the other services organizations, because again it's the same issue that when you look at the market is big, the market is also fragmented. You have multiple different technologies required and the shortage of skills. When you look at this, I just think my personal view is that not only us, I think everybody else in this field, we have no option but to partner with other players. And I think it is better, because at the end of the day, hopefully if we all partner well, then we will keep the world safer. The bad guys actually partner a lot better and a lot bigger, but not the good guys, right? So I guess partnership, I think, is the key, and that's what you will see us doing as well.
No, so I completely agree with you, and we are witnessing more and more partnerships between OEMs. I mean, between the producers of technology. Forget about their partnerships with their system integrators and the other value chain members. So great. That brings me to one of the last questions that I wanted to ask with you, Avinash. That is, NTT has launched about 6 innovation centers worldwide.
Yes.
In the previous month, including one in India. So what's the idea and intent behind those innovation centers, if you can throw some light on that?
Oh, sure. So, NTT globally, I mean, we probably have about 16,000, 17,000 patents, and throughout our, heritage. I mean, we spend more than $3.6 billion purely on the research and development, right? Now, come to specifically these innovation centers and the background and the idea, right? Is, we see technology playing bigger and bigger role irrespective of whatever industry you are in. I mean, every business is becoming a technology business. I mean, if you look at the whole digital element for everybody, right? I mean, it is becoming a technology business. We also think that with all these issues about supply chain challenges, information security, geopolitical issues, this will become devices, this will become IoT, this will become more and more important, that the technology will continue to play a role in terms of how the businesses are done, how the societies, work together. Now, our idea is that, there are three gamuts to this. There is a technology which you and I use here and now for our respective growths. Every enterprise uses it. Then there are some technologies which are having more growth potential. And let's say from an India perspective, 5G, for example, right? It's now coming in here. So that kind of creates a growth potential. I mean, AI ops is a growth potential. So they're already here. They are tested in some other markets. So we know that they work, but now it requires some help. And then there are technologies which are emerging technologies. So they are not yet completely taken shape, but we are right now working with a logistic company in terms of what can we do in by way of sensor to look at where the products are moving, and then how can you ensure it, what we call connected product. So there are these emerging technologies which are going to make some difference. So the whole idea of these innovation centers is to focus on these emerging technologies. And I think what we have done is across the geography. So US, Germany, Japan, India is one of them, and I'm forgetting the other country. But the idea is that each of those kind of become the center of competence for the respective areas. So India, for example, is going to be the center of competence for prototyping the product.
Okay.
So the whole idea is they they all work under one strategic imperative from a technology strategy standpoint, that what can happen in coming years, and then what can entity do by partnering with clients and ecosystem to create these center of competences, which then also will work together and then work. And I'm glad, I mean, there's going to be a lot of investment in that. India happens to be one country, and if you see, I mean, naturally, I'm not surprised that given the talent pool what we have, and given the innovative mindset what we have in India, it's very natural for us to recommit those investments for India, right? These are early days. They got off the ground now, and I'm sure in coming years you would see a lot more about the actual work being done, the investments being made, the people coming on board, and so on and so forth. But I mean, I personally feel very excited because then this is going to be in our backyard in India, so we can leverage that so much, and then start going. The principal theme there is that we really want to become a trusted global innovator. So by virtue of being global, of course, we do want us to be recognized as innovator, but I think we need to be recognized as a trusted innovator. So, and that's where this whole thing about why this technology innovation centers being rolled out.
Great, fascinating to know that NTT is aiming to become a trusted global innovator. So we were hearing Avinash Joshi, CEO of NTT Limited India, talking about the organization's capabilities and how he wants to up the stakes and augment the company's growth in various areas in times to come. Thank you very much for talking to us, Avinash. It was really a pleasure.